Welcome back to Grizzly Gaming. Grizzly here, and I've taken out my constellation to the nearby moon of Lyria around ArcCorp in order to show off how the rock mining works. So right now you don't see it, but we have a prospective target right in front of us. So just like with the prospector, what you need to do is go into scanning mode using the tab key, and then usually just going along the surface doing shorter bursts, half bursts. Sometimes you'll see these little ones pop up 702 meters away. Now I can get a little bit closer and show you that they aren't all that easy to see from the ship. Until they pop in just like that. Okay, now it's indicating that there is a mineable surface. Now if you try to do this with a prospector, I admit I have done it with a prospector before just to see if I could. You have to get just little tiny bursts of energy because it's very easy to pop these with those heavy lasers. What these are designed for are the rock surface vehicle miners. You can't even do it with hand mining because it's not powerful enough. So you have three tiers of minables. You got the ones the ships do, you have the ones that the rock does, and then you have the ones that you do by hand, usually inside of caves. So we're going to put down here in a fairly flat area. Let me get the angle around. Put our landing gear out. And then we'll ease down. Constellation is a wonderful ship. This is an explorer ship. It's designed to explore new territories, new solar systems. Now you see that the landing gear is a little bit off center right now. I don't really like that, so I'm going to lift off a little, and we're going to adjust our position. And the goal is to get a fairly flat area for deployment. There, now we're sitting down full skids. That's what you're looking for. This ship does have a little snub fighter you can see in the back. It's that white ship right there. Eventually you'll be able to detach that, fly around, and come back and reattach. It's got 4 weapon points, a bridge for 3, these VTOL thrusters, which I'm going to close for now. Missile racks, 4 of them on the top. A turret on the top for scanning, which really hasn't been implemented yet, and another turret underneath for firepower. But that's not what we're here for, so let's turn off the engines. Get out of my captain's chair. Also get rid of that annoying chat. There we go. Not sure if you could see them from here. Probably not. They're just over that ridge. So first thing I want to do is get myself in appropriate armor because it is very cold out there. This should do. One of the new things they added in, which is very helpful, see that little indicator there? It helps you find out where your door switch is, because they aren't always easy to find, and it's very annoying when you can't figure out how to get in your own ship. Here comes our rock down. It may jump around a bit. One of the complaints about the rock is it's kind of unstable on ships. And it's supposed to be deployed from ships, so hopefully they'll work on it and get that figured out. So when you go to the rock, go up to the front, and you should be able to find the hatch to enter the driver's seat. Send down. Very similar to your normal ship controls. U to turn the power on. I to turn the engine on. Or if you can't get the engine on that way, look down here to the right. There are switches for both the power on and off and the engine on and off. And for this, I'm using my joystick. And the rock does have its own sensor too, so you can scan from here. But you can see the indicator that the crystals are just over the ridge. When you found your target, just like with the prospector, you can use your mouse button to look around and then hit the left mouse button to scan, and it'll tell you what kind of rock you got. In this case, Dolivine. My recommendation for this is when you've gotten to where you need to go, you need to have the power on, but turn your engine off. Otherwise, you may find yourself jumping around a lot and messing up your mining. So the mining rig's on the right, hit M to deploy, and it'll point basically wherever you're pointing. I just point at this rock, scans, and it gives you the same kind of targeting reticle that you had with the prospector. Single tap on the left mouse button starts your laser up. And then it's the same kind of deal. Pump up your laser energy until the charge starts going up. And there are different types of heads that you can get for this as well. And also same kind of deal, you want to get into green, but you don't want to go into the red. Better to be cautious to take your time than blow up the rock and lose everything. I do not have an optimal laser head on here, obviously. And there's a fair bit of instability. You can see it's up to 3.55, which means the charge kind of jumps around a lot. So you could have a rapid spike up or down. That's when you get in the red zone, you hear that. So I spiked up a little bit too much there. But we just still... And what happens is if you're overcharged, they'll scatter more. You know, of course, you want to get them as close together as you can in a big pile. Wow, this one's going to be even a little tougher. Alright. Pump it up to get up top. And if something like that happens and jumps up too high, just turn it off. You see that that red overcharge does go down over time, so you can reset it. There's a nice little group. And one more rock here. I have seen rock piles with 8 and 10 rocks in them. This is a fairly typical low level one, just 3 spots. There are 3 different types of rocks to mine, Dolivine being the least valuable. Then another one starts with an A that I can't think of for the life of me right now. And then Hadanite, which is the most valuable. Although some moons you'll find, like this moon, you'll find this low level Dolivine. I have found the other rocks on it. So there is a chance of seeing them anywhere, but some moons you have a more of a chance to find the higher level ones. Okay, now when you got your rocks all broken up, go to your extraction mode. And if you left click on it, it'll start scooping them up. If you don't see this right away, sometimes it takes a minute, and sometimes you'll have to dock your mining laser and then bring it back out again if it's not picking them up. Okay. So we'll put our mining laser away. Go back down here, turn our engine on. Now you can just wander around the surface and scan, but it's usually better doing it from ship because you can cover a lot more territory quickly and not risk tipping your rock over. In fact, there is a way of getting a rock upright once you have tipped over, and it will happen to you. It's happened to just about everybody. What you do is use your stick to go full throttle forward or backwards, and then hit the power button while going full speed, and it should right itself. The problem with this vehicle is it's very top heavy, so it's easy to flip. Which made it very fun to use it for a rally race the other day of our group. All kinds of hilarity can happen. One of the nice things about the Connie is that you can get on and off from the front or the back. Other ships you'll have to back out one way or the other. pad. I'm going to turn power off. Exit. Now I found that it's always a good idea not to leave it open like this. So find your closed door and shut her up. Seems to help a little bit with the instability. There's a couple other things you need to know about this vehicle. The first is back here there is a hatch. You see the open button up here. And this is your cargo container. When you hit, it'll bring up this interface. Now this is showing what I've collected, 115 pieces. And you can see it's about 15% of my capacity in the vehicle. Now you can split them by right click and hitting split. To any number of pieces you want. So if I split off one piece, pull one piece off with a left click. Now I could take this and I could put it in my backpack. Now that's 1% of my backpack's capacity of about 100. So obviously it has a lot more capacity. My capacity is 146K and this is 800K. So I actually have a higher capacity by using this spacesuit, which has its own capacity. But there's another thing you can do. You can also put it back again. You can hit drop item, and when you drop item, what it does is it drops it out. Now it's making a liar of me. Or was this? Well, I guess I gotta do this when we're closed up. But you can drop the unit out and put it into a cargo container, which you can put it on your... Let me do it this way. I put it in my own inventory. Alright. Don't forget when you're done to close this again. Otherwise someone could come up, pirate could come up and just steal it right off the back of your vehicle if you're not paying attention. Also note that this is a fairly open cockpit, especially from the side, and they can shoot you through there. So let's take a look back here. You can see I have my gray cat back here. By the way, if you get one of these ships, there is a cargo panel here for opening and closing as well. Alright, so the point I was trying to make, unsuccessfully, hitting I for interface. My cargo. Get rid of that text again. Now I've got 78% of my packs full. So I hit store all commodities. This will store all your commodities from your personal inventory in a cargo box on the floor. Okay. And once it's done its little magic, oh, look at that, a little cargo box. Now this cargo box you can carry around just like any other cargo mission where you're taking stuff around. But the neat thing is you can place it anywhere on this cargo grid, this big brown section here, and as long as it's on that, that counts as part of the ship's cargo. So if you're going out and you're doing multiple trips, you can take this out, you can mine up some stuff, then use that same function out of the cargo container in the back, drop off a box, stick the box off on the side. Do it again, stick a box off on the side. You may have to back out instead of going forward, but especially if you're doing a Cutlass Black or the Freelancer Max, it also works good with this vehicle. You'll be able to drive in off the ramp out the back, unload it, and then stack up all your boxes in your anywhere you have a open cargo field. And then when you get back to port, you can sell off of the ship's cargo. You don't have to take these by hand in, and you don't have to keep them all on the rock vehicle. In fact, the first time I did this, I had some stored on the rock, some stored in the cargo on the pad, and some in my personal armor, and I was able to sell all three from the same cargo terminal. Where do you sell them? Anywhere you find an admin station. Admin stations will have the terminals where you can sell cargo and goods, and you can sell your materials there. So that is all there is to really to know about the rock. Except for where can you find it? Well, what you can do is you find any of the mining areas here in Walla. By the way, this is another thing, it's kind of quirky. It still shows those gems there, but those gems are actually the gems I already picked up. It's kind of a residual trace. So I got fooled once before I went back after them. There may be a couple that got away from me, but see, now you can see it's just little carrot marks as we fly over. So Lyria and Walla are the two moons around ArcCore. They are very cold. You want to make sure you're wearing the proper equipment so you don't freeze your character. This one's interesting because of that feature right there. It's always doing these off-gassing through these spires. And it's kind of a pretty effect that you can get right up close to. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't hurt you. Walla, on the other hand, has a lot more mining resources on it, I found, but it's more of a cold, barren rock of a moon. Both of them can get quite interesting weather. It might blow you around a little bit. And it does make a difference if you have your vertical takeoff and landing jets on or not. I can get a good lift and a good downward thrust real easy. If you don't have them open, it'll be a little harder to pop up and over the hills. So I'm going to keep on going for a little bit, see if I can find another spot just for fun, and this will be it for a while. I'm going to be doing some mining, and when I get full cargo run, we'll go down to ArcCore itself and take a look at the city. See ya! And now the final part of our adventure, coming to the admin office on the Galleria deck. Go up to your trade and shipping console, hit sell, and okay, so I got the two that are on my person I can sell. And then we've got 54 on the Gray Cat itself. You see, it's not an insignificant amount of money. 7,000's not a bad haul for that little bit of work. And then I can go into the constellation itself. Oops, log back in again. And you can see that little cargo unit that I left on there with the 113. I can sell that from here too. So however you store it, you can sell it from this terminal. So that's all there is to the rock. Can't think of anything else of significance to mention. It's a pretty basic unit. Good luck out there. If you have a little bit of fun, so you want to start off that way, I find it enjoyable as a break. I do prefer the prospector, but there's nothing wrong with that. And you can also do the hand mining in the caves. In order to do the caves, you just pick up a personal mission. Usually it says missing person. You have to try to find them, and it's usually in the cave. And then I'll give you a waypoint to get in there, but I'll do that as a separate video at some point. So, I see my character's hungry and thirsty, so I'm going to go up the food court, and I will catch you later.